Hey everybody, this is Matthew over Channel 35, H into the hand, and today we are doing an Omnath Locus of Mana Commander deck update. And I have it up here in Cockatrice, which is my preferred saving method, so I have the decks locally and play online. And we're going to just walk through it here. And also, if you prefer, I also have the deck readily available up on Moxfield. So, let's get going on this. Now, some of the cards are the same, and we're just gonna go through them one at a time. So, Mana Crypt here is the same. Perilous Vault, I believe, is the same. It was put in a while ago because as the game kept evolving in my Commander games, I realized like a pain point was that I could not exile in green. So believe it or not, 9 mana to exile is totally worth it. Sol Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, the Great Henge, and you got 3 in Dynamo. Now I only have Swiftfoot Boots and not Lightning Greaves because I have another haste enabler that I'm using. And you'll see that later on. Ancient Bronze Dragon, Apex Allosaur. Apex Allosaur is an amazing card. It's just in a world of Gultas that you're fighting against. It's hard to imagine that a 10/10 is weak at all, but it does a great job on killing everything else. So there's that. Birds. Canopy Tactician. Canopy Tactician is in here because it's a 4-drop that taps for 3 mana. And that's kind of like the count up for this deck. It goes early drop, 4-drop, tons of mana. So, and you got Cityscape Leveler, which is a big bad creature with trample, and it destroys things. And gives people a useless Power Stone token. Like, who cares? And even if you're cheating this into play, it still triggers on attack. So there's literally no downside. Dryad Arbor. Duplicant. Duplicant's been in here for a really, really ridiculously long time. And it is in here to exile nasty creatures that you normally can't deal with. I guess this could technically be replaced by a cheaper enchantment that costs like 3 or 2 even, and turn something into a 3/3 elk. There is a new one for that. But the ability to exile matters. And if I'm tutoring for creatures on a tooth and nail, sometimes I'm tutoring for this because I have to kill something. So, Elder Gargaroth, it is all around amazing. It's a 5-drop, 6/6. It does everything you could want it to do. Makes a creature, gains life, draws a card, has vigilance, has trample, reach. Like, whoa. Fanatic of Ronos is a new card in here, and I just kicked out another 2-drop mana ramper because it's just better in every imaginable way. It can potentially tap for 4 quite easily. Gulta. New Gulta. New Gulta is in here because it only costs 8. And you can get to 8 mana pretty easily. And if you play this and you have other big bombs in your hand, you just throw them down for free. Like, what's the downside there? There's nothing. No downside. Ronus here is just been in the deck for a while. It's a death touch creature, resilient, doubles power and toughness. I think grants vigilance, yep. Hornet Queen has been in the deck for forever. It gives you 5 blockers with death touch and flying. It's a really good delay effect. It's a really good save your butt effect. It could arguably be some other anti-flying card. If there is a better one, I'll have to check. But for now, Hornet Queen is staying. Oh, Intrepid Paleontologist got put in because it could tap for mana. And it exiles a card from a graveyard. And you may cast a dinosaur creature spell from one card you own exiled with Intrepid Paleontologist. If you cast this spell this way, that creature enters the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So, what does that do for you? Well, it just so happens you have some dinosaurs. You got Gulta, and Apex Allosaur. Alright. That's more than enough reasons to play it. And it replaces Scavenging Ooze, because the life doesn't matter. If I really need to exile something, I'm paying the 2. Totally fine with that. So, but as I play many games with Omnath, I find I don't need to exile the graveyard. Hardly ever. Cloning Hydra, big smashy attacker for 5. Kolga, kills something, and if it survives, you're destroying their artifacts and enchantments. Most of the time, it's a 6 mana removal spell, though. Most of the time. You got Kozilek, costs 10, Big Bag Annihilator, shuffles your library in case of a mill, which is pretty irrelevant, but occasionally you're up against mill. You got a lot more elves, a lot more tribe. Nyx Bloom Ancient is the home run when you play it, because pretty much immediately afterwards you have 21 mana or more, and you just start winning like right there. You got Old Gnawbone. Old Gnawbone has been a really big underperformer. It's still in there along with Ancient Bronze Dragon, but it could arguably be something else. So could Ancient Bronze Dragon. You got the Commander Omnath. Omnath floats mana between turns for you. There used to be a lot of Protect Omnath in this deck, but I've realized over the years that is just a massive waste of time. Most of the time you're floating 1 or 2 mana between the turn, which is very advantageous for you. But if they're going to kill Omnath, they're going to kill Omnath. And if they don't kill Omnath, then they're going to kill the threat you just played with Omnath. So let them use the removal spell on Omnath and then play your threat later. Oracle. Great mana ramp and card draw. Rampaging Balos, 4/4s. Regal Behemoth could arguably be something else. It's a mana doubler for lands. It costs 6. It's also a dinosaur. It could arguably be something else. It's mostly here because it's a creature and it costs 6. And why do I bring up that it's a creature? Well, I bring up that it's a creature because of Somberwald Sage. Somberwald Sage, tap, add 3 mana of any one color, spend this mana and only cast creature spells. I try and keep the deck consistent where my low end mana ramp, which actually this is crazy high end mana ramp, it costs 3, taps for 3, but still it gets me into my better stuff. Selvala is in here for minor card draw and extreme ramp. Silverback Elder is a 5-drop, does a lot of things. He's another tiny creature to kill stuff, but most of the time you have that, and honestly most of the time that's Omnath. Like if you're playing Silverback, you probably skipped over the Omnath because you didn't need it, and then you played Omnath for 3 and destroyed an artifact, and you great. It was great. Oh, Spike Weaver. Spike Weaver has been in here for a really, really long, forever time. And I don't think it's ever leaving the deck. Because it's a 4-drop creature where I could potentially put more counters on this with Collodion Hydra. Double the number of plus counters on each creature you control. And I could fog forever. Granted, they could eventually kill Spike Weaver. That's cool. But the number of times this has won me games from the delay effect is ridiculously high. Literally just delaying 2 or 3 turns and I can recover and win the game. So, oh, Surrak and Goreclaw. Surrak and Goreclaw is the home run addition here, and it does every single thing you want a big bad green creature to do. Has trample, other creatures you control have trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. It grants your big bad creatures haste. You tooth and nail, you get this, and your other creature has haste, and you just smash the same turn. And you pick and choose. But last time I did Ulamog Ceaseless Hunger for the tooth and nail, and the indestructible kept it alive, and you exile the top 20 cards of your opponent's library. I mean, granted you don't get to exile permanents, but who cares? Most of the time nothing can be done about this, but there's plenty of other options for tooth and nail. So Voiding Satire is a land untapper. I definitely have wanted to put another land untapper in here before, but Ronas took that card's place. So occasionally you get this on the board, and you have your Gaia's Cradle, and you're untapping your Gaia's Cradle for maybe 4, and then getting 8 mana out of it. So it's pretty amazing. And I've had games where I've had Nyxbloom Ancient, and I'm tapping Gaia's Cradle for 4, which turns that into 12, and then I'm untapping it for 24, and things get crazy. So you got Woodfall Primus, a huge, massive staple of the deck. You got World Spine Worm, huge, massive deck staple. Wormcoil Engine, super solid 6-drop, no complaints here. Comes back for more. Death Touch, Lifelink. Zopandrel Hunger Dominus. So at the end of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end turn. Pretty super solid. And if you have the 2 other creatures to sacrifice, you can probably make this indestructible and swing for the fences. So very often that's Omnath and a Mana Dork. So you got Bear Umbra. Bear Umbra is crazy powered up, because if you do Omnath turn 3, Bear Umbra turn 4, you get all your mana back. Omnath gets even bigger, and then if you don't have something to play, you gamble for a big slam of next turn. You have +4 mana, so you have 4 + 5, or maybe you really luck out and you don't draw another land. But regardless, you have 8 to 9 mana and you do something crazy. Court of Bounty is in here. It's a cheat a creature into play effect. It is okay. It is okay. It could arguably be changed to a creature cheat into play effect, which there is a 5-drop for that. But it doesn't need to be. It's one of those utility cards that I'm on the fence about, but it hasn't let me down. It's an immediate threat that has to be dealt with, so I don't know. It hasn't come out enough, honestly. It's only come out a couple times. Here we go. Super new card. Kenrith's Transformation. When Kenrith's Transformation enters the battlefield, draw a card. So that's amazing. Enchanted creature loses all abilities, is a green elk with base power and toughness 3/3. So there is a new version of this. It's an enchantment. It does this. I believe it's a creature. I'd have to find it. I think it's a creature enchantment. But this one is just the aura, and it draws you a card. The other one doesn't draw you a card. So this one's better by far. And you just neuter somebody's commander or neuter anything and draw a card, and there's absolutely no drawback, and it's super fast. Maybe they have the enchantment destruction, but they probably don't. So, same idea with Song of Dryads, super powered up. Here's your forest. Deal with it. So, Archdruid's Charm. I squeeze this in. Search your library for a creature or land card, reveal it, put it on the battlefield, tap if it's land, otherwise put it in your hand and shuffle your library. It's a creature tutor, it's a land tutor, it has other abilities, exile target artifact or enchantment, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature control, it deals damage equals power to target creature you don't control. So it's a removal spell. It's a home run, people. So instant speed too. You got Beast Within, Force of Vigor. Force of Vigor was like a forced upgrade. Rarely do I need to use it early game. Sometimes you do, though. Heroic Intervention. Heroic Intervention was put in here a really long time ago. Permanent control, gain hexproof and indestructible in turn. So Omnath is floating mana. I play this in response to some kill spell and save my butt. So Nature's Claim was added because I needed a turn 1 kill for Sol Ring. Full stop, period. Like, this needed to be at least available in the 100. Return of the Wild Speaker. You draw a ton of cards. So Ancient Tomb for a little boost. Buseju. Originally did not want to play Buseju because they get a land, but just having another spell available is in the 100 is absolutely worth it. Even if they get a land, you start to think, why do I give a crap about their land when I'm destroying like a Thran Dynamo? So I just brought them down 2. So Castle Garenbridge for that slight green pump. Oh, I have Ujin. I have Ujin is in here for literal Eldrazi reasons, but it can also tutor for other colorless creatures in the deck, such as Wormcoil Engine and Duplicant. So it can tutor for 4 cards, which is like, if you got the mana for this, then if you got 7 mana, like, you probably just drew all mana ramp and nothing else. And you're like, alright, let's get that big card. Forest. Guy's Cradle. Homeward Path got shoved in. I got a land tutor now that can, with the Archdruid's Charm, so this is low level relevant, but it's there. So Lair the Hydra, obvious big pump creature choice. Mosswort Bridge, card draw, free effect. Nikos. Nikos is okay. It can be good. Usually it's not that much, but it's usually okay. Rogue's Passage, because you need things to be unblockable. Scavenger Grounds was shoved in here for the singular purpose of me potentially needing to exile a graveyard. I really should put something better in, honestly. I really should. that can go back to being a forest. And maybe I could put something better in up here. I would like one more graveyard exile effect, but I'm not clear as to where. Strip mine is in here because you need it. Let's be real. Like, you need to play land destruction of some kind. Full stop, period. So if you're not playing spells that destroy lands, which I'm playing a couple, I'm playing Beast Within, then you need to play Strip Mine and Wasteland. So Yavimaya Hollow is sometimes relevant. I almost never find myself needing to regenerate the creature. Strange, I know, but almost never. Or it's just tapped already and I use the mana, so yeah. You have my Cradle Growth. Everything's a forest. Yeah. So that was necessary to replace a forest in case I drew too many colorless lands. Alright, we got Garruk Primal Hunter. It's mostly here for the -3. It's a 5 mana slam down, draw as many cards as you can. So Karn Liberated is in here because you need some muscle. Like, you need some that needs to die boom muscle. And so you're using the -3 pretty much all the time first. If you're using the +4, you're probably just crushingly winning. So Nisal Vital Force, I believe at the time this is one of the very few return effects in the deck. There is a new land that I've intended to put in here, but for now, for version 5, this is version 5, people. I can recirculate different ideas in my head for forever, and you gotta put a version out. You gotta finish. So really slight permanent return, almost irrelevant, used very rarely. The primary purpose of this is +1, -6. So you play lands afterwards and you draw a card for every land. Then that's really good card advantage. Ujin the Spirit Dragon is here for exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. It's a bomb. It's a board clearing bomb. So Vivian Reed, draw effect, and destroy artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. The whole creature with flying thing really gets you sometimes. It is really advantageous to have this effect. It's really, really good. You have Vivian again. You may look at the top card of the library time and cast creature spells from top of your library. So it's an Oracle effect. It makes 3/3s. And the next time a creature spell, cast a creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser convert mana cost put on the battlefield. That ability is insane. It's insane. So the first turn, you're probably out of mana. You're making your 3/3. And next turn, if Vivian's still alive, you're crushing somebody. Yeah, Cultivate. Cultivate offers consistency, which you need. Sometimes you don't draw lands, people, and you need the other one. Genesis Wave for big slam down. Green Sun Zenith, amazing tutor in this deck. Kodama's Reach. If anything, Green Sun, it's a one mana land tutor for Dryad Arbor. That's hard to beat. So, and what we got left down here? We got Kodama's Reach. Natural Order for some serious power, and Tooth and Nail. And there is no sideboard, those are just maybe board cards. And that is the update for Omnath version 5. Now, this will be up here on Moxfield as well, the whole list, so you can look at it at your ease. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this stream. This has been Matthew over Challenge 45, H&D the Hand. See you later.